and really want to learn how to understand your dogs and cats as well as they understand you, if you're confused about your pet's behavior or just want to improve their lifestyle, you know what to do. Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch, bring your furry little buddies with you, folks, because yes, it is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hello, everybody. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Evergreen Pet Show family, if you want to find out why your dog is maybe a little withdrawn, your cat is scratching everything, not using the litter box, doesn't get along with the new cat that came to the house, you can't take your dog for a walk, he loves to go outside, but the minute he sees any type of distraction, he goes crazy. You get the idea. That's what we do here on The Pet Show. We help you resolve any issues that you may be having with your pets, and a lot more likely, any issues your pets may be having with you. By the way, if you're new to The Pet Show, welcome aboard. But anyone who calls into the show today and gets to talk to me live on the air will, in fact, get a fabulous, fabulous gift. Don't get excited. You know by now it's not for you. Many of the items I'll be giving away on today's show for your dogs and cats are worth $25, $35, $45, even $50. People often say, Warren, why do you give away such great expensive gifts? Well, many of the items I give away are directly related to the issue or the problem you may be having with your dog or cat. So if you have a question or a comment, just want to share a great story about an adopted dog or a rescued cat, great time to give me a call. As I said, everyone that calls in gets to talk to me live will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. The phone number here at The Pet Show, by the way, 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-KRLA. Or if you're more of a numbers person, that's 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. As I said, plenty of time to answer all of your pet and animal questions. Lots of great stuff to give away on today's show. It is a weekend, and the sun is shining in Southern California, so that's good. That means your dogs need to get some of that energy out of them that they've been suffering with the last couple of weeks. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me tell you what is planned for today's show. So much. All right. The truth is, you know, I was sick last week and I took a day off, which is pretty rare for me. So in order to tell you how I was feeling, I think I had a kennel cough or distemper, who knows. Anyway, bottom line is I'm feeling great today. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff. But if I don't get to all my topics, and your phone calls take up most of the time, that's okay, because now, whatever topics I don't get to today, I'll post on my YouTube channel come Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, and that's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. But let me tell you what I'd like to share with you guys today. So much good stuff coming up. If you rescued your pet from the street, a shelter, or a rescue, you probably have no idea whatsoever when their actually birthday is. So why not celebrate Adoption Day, or what I call Gotcha Day? We're going to talk about that. I want to find out from you guys out there, do you celebrate your dog or cat's Gotcha Day, or the day they were adopted? Give me a call, or even their birthday. We'll take those calls as well. 866-870-KRLA. Also coming up, I recently read an interesting piece. It may sound a bit eccentric, but I honestly believe it's real. All right, bail me out on this one, guys. Now, this is going to sound a little crazy, even for Warren. But, do you believe that pets you loved in the past that crossed over the Rainbow Bridge can visit you from their afterlife? We're going to take a look at 10 signs your pets visit you from the other side of the Rainbow Bridge. Now, I know that may sound crazy, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, but there are times I will smell a dog or a cat or another animal that I live with. I will hear another dog or a cat that I live with that's passed many, many years ago. I believe that. Well, maybe it's because of my Romanian background, but I do believe that. So do you believe that pets that you live with, animals that you lived with in the past, still come to visit you once in a while? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you guys. I believe it, but again, that's me. Also coming up, how to tell if your dog or cat is depressed. A lot of people have no idea, and the depression can lead to medical problems as well, so we're going to talk about that. And does your dog or cat suffer with SADS? What is SADS, Warren? Come on. Does your dog or cat suffer with seasonal affective disorder? You know, I started talking about this 30 years ago. And when I started bringing these things up, people were ready to put me away. But I do believe that there are certain changes in the seasons that do affect our pets. Winter, not so much here in California, but on the East Coast or the Midwest, where there's really major changes during this season. So does your dog or cat suffer with SADS, seasonal affective disorder? As always, plenty of time to answer all of your questions, lots of comments, great stuff to give away. So if your pet is chewing, jumping, confused about the litter box, not housebroken, poor guy suffering with separation anxiety or depression, your dog is chasing anything that moves, cat scratched your favorite chair, and your dog literally believes that if it moves, he better hump it, that's what we'll do here. Resolve any issues that you may be having with your pets and any issues your pets may be having with you. Again, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. And the question of the day is, do you believe that your pets can visit you after they cross the Rainbow Bridge? I know that may sound a little crazy to people. It may even sound blah, blah. What's Warren talking about today? Well, I believe it. I've been visited. I have been visited. What about you? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. I will send you a great gift as well. Also, I'm not going to get to it today, but something that I've been talking about, God, since my days in Europe, and it seems like most people in my field have never even thought about it. Do dogs and cats, especially dogs and cats that have been rescued, do they have flashbacks? You know, flashbacks are defined as a past incident recurring vividly in your dog or cat's mind. Can dogs and cats have flashbacks or traumatic events? Dogs do have memory. If they didn't have that ability to retain memory, they won't be able to be trained and respond. So this is something I've been working on, and I'm going to do a relatively long post on it on my YouTube channel this week, whether dogs can have trauma and nightmares. Do the flashbacks really take place? How does it affect them? Does anyone out there have a dog or cat that they rescued? God bless you guys that maybe you think has flashbacks, or every once in a while just reactive if he smells something or sees something or hears something entirely different. That could be a flashback, an association from something in the past. Again, these are one of those subjects that I've been thinking about, and this is stuff that keeps me up at night because no one else is really talking about it. Do dogs and cats have flashbacks? I believe they do. I'd love to hear from you guys. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. And as I said, the question of the day is, do you believe that your pets from the past can visit you? I do. Give me a call. Let me know. I will send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I got to tell you, when I was not, and I don't get sick that often, but this week I was feeling pretty lousy. And I got to tell you, Molly and Willie, my two amazing rescues, they were on top of my head the entire time. They would not leave me. So anyone out there that don't think their dog or their cats know how they feel or react to changes in the way they're behaving has no idea how incredibly sensitive our dogs and cats are. And these are the things I talk about that have kind of made me a little bit of the rogue of the industry. You know, you don't see me going to a lot of events. You don't see me going to a lot of trade shows. I did years ago, but I've taken an entirely different approach over my career, you know, which is over 50 years now, that sometimes you have to go a little bit deeper. It's a little bit deeper than behaviors and trainers have been telling you. You really need to delve and understand why. Why is my dog behaving? Why is my cat feeling this way? And that's what I try to do here on the show. With your help, my listeners, you guys are absolutely amazing because you're so in tune with your pets and the way they feel. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Flashbacks. Do pets have flashbacks? If you want to respond to that, you can as well. Give me a call. But right now, let me go to a phone call. We're going to go to Manhattan Beach, and I believe it's Tella. Hey, Tella, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, Warren. Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just have a quick question. Suddenly, my dog is pulling the stuffing out of his toys, out of his beds, out of our sofas, and I don't know why.
Well, let me ask you a couple of questions. Yeah, well, I'm sure I can. But what I have an uncle.
Sure you can.
I have an uncle in the upholstery business. We can help you right now. Let me ask you a question. What type of dog do you have?
A terrier.
Okay.
A blended terrier.
Okay, so a blended terrier. And how old is the dog?
15 pounds, 4 years old.
And this has just started recently?
Yes.
Okay, well, let me explain a few things about when dogs start behaving this way. Dogs use their mouth when they get really anxious, or there's a change, or they're not coping with what's going on perfectly. A dog's mouth is like
Oh.
our hands. It's like a little kid breaking things, a dog's going to chew things up. So, right off the bat, my question to you would be, has there been any changes in your home? New husband, new boyfriend, both with a girl? Any changes that you can think of? Any new furniture? Were you away for a while? Anything like that that may have changed in your home?
Gosh, not really. I'd have to dwell on that a little bit before I can answer it, but offhand I can't think of anything.
Okay, and what about exercise factor? Is this start before the
You know
rain?
what? No, he does not get as much exercise. I don't exercise him. I don't walk him every day.
Okay, now, prior to this chewing, were you walking him every day?
Not necessarily.
Okay, right, a couple of things. Number one, first thing I would do, I would make sure that his teeth and his gums are in really good shape. Okay, sometimes if the teeth and gums are bothering them, they're going to chew. That's number one. Number two, it sounds to me like there might be some stress or anxiety going on there. So what I would do is I would increase the dog's mental stimulation and physical stimulation at the same time. Increase the exercise factor. What I would also do is find a group of toys that are not being able to be ripped apart, put them down, put 6 down all at the same time, spread them around, pick them up after a day or so, put new ones down, then pick those up, put the old ones, rotate them every couple of days. I think that will resolve the issue. But very often when a dog is chewing, it's either directly related to a physiological pain in the gums or the mouth, which most dogs have by the time they're 3 or 4 years old, or it's some type of anxiety. Maybe your neighbor got a new car. Maybe they changed their hours. And you really need to kind of keep a little bit of a diary of what things change. But I think the most important thing for you right now, increase the stimulation mentally, increase the stimulation physically, check with your vet in terms of teeth and gums, and rotate those toys, and I think you'll be absolutely fine. But
we just had his teeth cleaned about 3 or 4 weeks ago with a.
But he was chewing before that.
Non-anesthetic cleaning.
But he was chewing before that.
No, he was not.
So it's after the teeth clean that he started chewing.
Well, yeah.
Okay, well, let's go back to that a bit, okay?
After the teeth cleaning.
I am a big fan of teeth cleaning. In fact, Molly and Willie are going into, they're pretty smart, but I haven't yet taught them to spit and gargle, so they're going to have their teeth cleaned in the not too distant future. But it sounds to me like maybe after the teeth cleaning and they scrape a little bit, maybe there was some pain there. And to alleviate that pain, what he started doing was chewing. So give him some time.
That could be.
Give him the benefit of the doubt, increase the exercise, and I think you can have stuffing in your pillow again.
Okay, well, I thank you so much for talking with me. I appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold, and what I am going to do is, you know what? I'm going to send you some, oh, God, you know what? A 4-year-old terrier mix. I'm going to send you some Orthosol Gold to keep those hips and joints in the best shape ever, and give them a big hug and a kiss from me. See, there's always a reason. That's what separates behaviorists and trainers from so-called behaviorists and trainers. Rather than just tell her, do this, do that, do this, let's look at it from the dog's perspective. What's causing this behavior problem? What changed in the environment? It seems to have changed after the teeth cleaning. Maybe there's some irritation in there, and that's why the dog's chewing, to help alleviate some of that pain. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of pretty amazing stuff to give away, including my own Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats. You just heard me give away some Orthosol Gold. I have kitty lickies that cats love, Lucy Pet Foods, those amazing t-shirts that say none of my friends walk upright, all natural herbal flea spray, hemp seed oil, and copies of my best-selling book. So everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live or just to answer my question will get a great gift, 866-870-KRLA. And I want to hear from some people out there. You know, most of my listeners have adopted or rescued. How many people out there celebrate Gotcha Day or celebrate one day a year to celebrate the birthday that they may not be sure when it is of their rescued dog or cat? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you, 866-870-KRLA. But right now, let me take Back on the Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call if you have a question or a comment about your dog or cat. You want to find out why your dog is jumping, your cat's not using a litter box, scratched your favorite chair, got a new cat. The older cat doesn't like him. You can't take your dog for a walk. He turns into Cujo when he sees another dog on the street. Just a reminder that everyone that does call into the Pet Show today will get an absolutely incredible gift for their dog or cat. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Lots of good stuff coming up. Anything you guys want to talk about is fine with me, or any questions. I am going to talk a little bit later. Someone sent me this blog of 10 signs your pet is visiting you from the afterlife. Now, I believe it. Am I the only one out there? Do you guys believe that our pets can visit from the afterlife as well? Let me just run this by you for a little bit, and then I'll get back to the phones, I promise. If you hear their paws walking, now, I know many of the animals I lived with over the years have crossed the Rainbow Bridge quite a while ago, but every once in a while, I can hear them walking. I can actually smell their scent. I even hear their collar jingling. I can even hear their voice barking or whining. And when I'm sitting around by myself, and you know I do meditate, so when I'm sitting around sometimes, I can actually feel dogs and cats and pigs and chickens and all the animals I had, some of their presence with me. Now, that may sound a little weird to some people. You hear a song that reminds you, a song that reminds you of them on the radio. Happy thoughts of them come out the blue when you need to be cheered up. You think you feel their fur on your skin when resting, and you receive a new animal friend shortly after them crossing the Rainbow Bridge. Hey, listen, I believe this. You know, animals are so amazing, and they're so honest, and they're so without fault for so many, that I do believe when they do cross the Rainbow Bridge, their honesty, their beauty, I think they do come back in some way and visit people from the past. And for some people, oh, come on, Warren, blah, blah, you're way out there. I believe this. Does anyone out there believe it as well? Does anyone else maybe heard their dog or cat, or smelled their dog or cat, or a song came on and they made them think about their dog or cat a little bit more, or maybe heard their collar jingle? I have, and I've heard for years from many people that have it also. I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Give me a call. I'll send you a super gift, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. I also want to hear from some people about Gotcha Day. Gotcha Day is the day you rescued your dog or cat from a shelter or rescue off the street. We don't know their birthday, but a lot of people celebrate what's called Gotcha Day. I want to hear from you guys as well. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of super stuff to give away. Right now, let me go to Santa Clarita and Doreen. Hi, Doreen. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. I have the sweetest story. My parents recently lost their dog. My cousin brings them a little golden retriever puppy. Gertrude is 14 weeks old. My mother is making a list of the pros and cons, and she said, well, Gertrude's perfect. The cons are all me.
You have quite the bright mom there. It's so true. In other words, 14 weeks old, if the dog is doing anything wrong, it's the person's fault. It's not the dog's fault. I agree with you, Mom. I agree with you, Mom.
I totally agree. I just thought that was so sweet, and I had to share that with you. And, yes, I do feel my pets that have passed over.
Let me ask you a couple of quick questions. Number one, you said you've had elderly parents. Elderly's in the, as I get older, elderly doesn't mean that much to me. But the bottom line is this. So many seniors or elderly people, I don't usually advocate that they get a puppy. And the reason for that is what happens to the puppy, because chances are the puppy may good shot outlive the people. So I generally recommend for seniors that they adopt a senior dog or a senior cat. They can kvetch with each other, if you know what the word kvetch means. They can kind of kvetch with each other. So, but it sounds to me like you're close with your parents. So I'm assuming that if, God forbid, in 50 years from now, your parents crossed over, that you would be taking over your sister dog.
I would be taking over. My cousin and I have a battle already. Who will take over?
And,
but
and
I
that,
will win.
and that's so important. But make sure somewhere down the line you set up a living trust. That's really important because when death occurs, people that love each other they change. Their whole personalities change. So
Yeah.
you want to check on that. But what a great story! I'm glad. And you know what? It's probably going to make your mom and dad feel a lot younger and a lot better because sometimes just being around something young, whether it be a child or a dog or a cat, can just kind of make them feel a lot better. What a great story. What a great story.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you're covered in terms of taking care of him. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that this dog, this golden retriever puppy, stays healthy and happy for his whole life. So I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to have Suzette pick up. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up, and I'm going to send you some Lucy pet food for your mom's new golden puppy. What a great story. It's interesting to me that most senior citizens, and this is a perfect case where it's fine. I don't have a problem with Doreen because they already know that if heaven forbid something were to happen, the dog would have a home with her or her cousin. But usually for senior citizens, it's a perfect relationship. And I use the word fetch, and I mean that. Where you can kind of talk, oh, my arthritis hurts. And the dog, oh, yeah, my arthritis kind of hurts as well, too. I got to get up to pee in the middle of the night. All these things. So I think it's a kind of an interesting idea that seniors sometimes foster or adopt older dogs, but in this case, it's absolutely fine because a home is already there. The phones are full, jam-packed. I'm going to get to everyone's call. I promise if I have to cut some of my stuff, I will cut some of my stuff to do. But I also want to remind everyone, if you think I'm pushing my YouTube channel, I'll tell you why. There's very often things I can't talk about on the air that I can talk a lot about in detail on the YouTube channel. And when I talk about, as I said, the majority of my listeners, that's you out there listening, the majority of you guys are amazing. You rescued the dogs, you saved your cat, you took them off the streets, whatever. And many of them have really, really had a rough life and been traumatized. Do they have flashbacks? Sometimes people call it PTSD. I don't. I call it flashbacks. Do you believe your dogs and cats can have flashbacks of things in the past? Have you noticed it? I'd love to hear from you, but I'm going to do an in-depth story on it. Let me give you an example. Nightmares are much more common in dogs whom experience trauma or an abusive experience in the past. If these behaviors are more aggressive, a loud barking or shaking can occur. It may be a sign your dog is not dreaming, but literally having a nightmare. I've talked about dogs having nightmare, and people said, no, it's just a dream. No, they can have nightmares as well. So I'm going to do an entire video on this, and I'll share that with you on YouTube, probably coming up this week. So go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. It's free. Subscribe. Lots of great info there anyway, but I'll do this this flashback thing coming up. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a break. When we come back, we have Naomi calling from Hawaii. We got Walter calling. We got Donald calling. We got Paul calling. We'll get to all your calls right after this, but right now, I want you to listen carefully. You're listening And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. I want to hear from you guys. A couple of things out there. Do you believe that pets can visit after they've crossed the Rainbow Bridge in many different ways? Give me a call. Or if you have a rescue dog or a cat, do you think that they can have flashbacks? I'd love to hear from you guys. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Let me go first to Walter. Hey, Walter, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Wonderful show.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. How can I help you today, Walter?
Just every time that I listen to your show, you always bring up some good points. I'm sitting here watching my dog that I had rehomed, and I often think about what does she think about being in a new place after coming to a new owner.
It's like my two guys. I adopted Molly and Willie, a bonded pair, which, by the way, the shelter didn't want to give me two of them until I forced the situation, said I'm not leaving until the both of them are in my hands. They remember. Is that what you're asking? Do they remember their past?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. In other words, dogs learn through association. When I was studying in Europe, one of the things we found out that a dog can go back to a location, and it may have been a negative experience, it may have been a positive experience. The dog may not be aware of exactly what that experience may be, but they are aware that it's different. Their way of recall is a little bit different than we as people. So what often happens is my guys, Molly and Willie, for example, I've had them almost 4 years now, they're pretty well adapted to their new home. So I don't necessarily think they look to the past where they were both abused. However, every once in a while, even with Willie, and Willie was the little male that was totally abused, every once in a while I'll notice that there's some noise or someone walked by or whatever, and you can see that little bit of trauma in him. So they don't forget. They don't know exactly what happened, but they do know that definitely something happened at that point. So it's not unusual for a dog sometimes to remember. People think I'm a little crazy when I talk about that, but dogs can remember the past. They can remember good things. They can remember bad things, not the same way we do. So, yeah, it's possible that the dog that you rehomed is going through exactly that.
Good. Well, good to know. I mean, all I can do is give her a loving home and just keep loving her.
It sounds like that's what you're doing, Walter. She's got, what type of dog is it?
It's a miniature schnauzer.
And what was her background? How did you wind up with her?
My sister had got a dog from one of this lady's friends, and this lady didn't want this dog anymore. She wanted to go or have free time to go on trips. So I had just gotten, my male dog had just passed away. And my sister was like, let me check with my brother. And lo and behold, it was a good fit at the time.
Well, it sounds to me like you made the right decision. It sounds to me like the dog has the perfect home with you, Walter. I see you in beautiful Mesa, Arizona. So the dog has a good life. You have a good life. You're making him better. Yeah. He's making you better. So I love the call. I really appreciate it. I'm going to put you on hold. And you know what? I'm going to send you a jar of my own supplements, the Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats for the dog. And I appreciate that phone call. Let's see. Where are we going next here? Let's go to Shirley. Hey, Shirley. Welcome to the Pet Show. Oh, Shirley's still on the phone. Is she just calling right now? Okay, so we'll get to you, Shirley, in a little bit. Oh, can I go to Shirley? Hey, Shirley, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I could not be better. I know you're calling from Beverly Hills. Tell me what you think about what we were talking about.
Well, I had buried my previous dog, and I terraced my hillside. I live in the canyon, and there's olive trees and lemon trees and all that, and we buried him up there. And Giorgio showed up to everybody he did not have a chance to say goodbye to. And then after he showed up and they saw him, then he was gone. And just like, I was telling the lady before, my daughter came over. I was at work. Then I said to her, Suzanne, go up on the hill and see where we buried Giorgio. And she went on up there. And then when she came to my office, she was a little disturbed. And I said, what's the problem? She says, Mom, she says, I was walking down the hill. And she says, you look right in your bedroom. And she says, you know where Giorgio, he always liked laying on your bed on the sun? And I said, yeah. And she said, he was there, Mom. He was there. He looked right at me.
Love is incredibly a strong thing. It just absolutely. Do you have any pets? Do you have any pets right now?
No, my dog just passed away a week ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And,
my thoughts and prayers are with you for that. It's always hard to say goodbye, but sometimes when you say goodbye, you have to understand what an incredible relationship you had, and it's worth the sadness of having to say goodbye.
Yeah, but this dog, too, now, my son is in Indiana. My son calls me up, and he says, Mom, I had a dream last night.
There you go.
And Nino showed up. And he came walking to me. He says, I saw him in a distance, and then he came toward me, and he played with me like he always did. And then after a minute or two, he stopped, and he walked away. He stopped. He looked at me, and then that was it. He faded.
There you go. It's just unbelievable stuff. Let me do this. I got to move on, so I want to send you something. Let me put you on hold. Let me send you a copy of my book, and so hopefully the next time you adopt, it'll be great for you as well. I'm going to take a break, but if I get to it today, I'll share it, and if I don't, when my mom passed away, and I grew up on Long Island, and I know you would never know that because I talk just like I was raised in Beverly Hills, but I grew up on Long Island, and when my mom passed away, she was buried at a Jewish cemetery on Long Island, and I'll tell that story a little bit later. It's just an interesting story, and it has that what I call ghost dog effect. Ghost dog meaning in a good way, that ghost dog effect. I'll try to talk about it a little bit later. Great time to give me a call. I will get to all your calls. You know me, if I have to scratch every topic I have, your phone calls are most important. That phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. We're going to get to you, Paul in Northridge. You have a question about your Syrian hamsters. We're going to get to you, Naomi, calling from Hawaii. We got Donald in Arcadia. We got Audrey in Granada Hills. One open line, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. And the question of the day, there's a couple. Do you believe that our pets can visit us once they've crossed the Rainbow Bridge? I know there's people out there saying, come on, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you. You just heard Shirley. I believe it. Do you believe it? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll send you a super gift for your best friend. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me take a quick break here, then we'll get right back to your phone calls. Litter box boogie. Hey, we're back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to call me. That phone number 866-870-KRLA. Coming up, did you know that more than half of dog and pet owners say they're open to getting a tattoo of their dog or cat? Yeah, well, I'm in that category. We'll talk. Do you have does anyone out there have a tattoo of their dog or cat, or would they get a tattoo of their dog or cat? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll send you a great gift as well. When I do this story in a little while, you'll see exactly how many people do have tattoos of their pets. Phone number 866-870-KRLA. I got Lucy Pet Food, Hugs and Kisses, Arthur Gold, books, flea spray, lots of great stuff to give away. Great time to give me a call. But right now, let me go to Naomi, calling from Hawaii. Hi, Naomi. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi, aloha. What can I do for you?
Wait, okay. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's your question?
Okay, my question is, my sister has 3 young cats. They're 2, 3, and 4, and the youngest is Benny. He's a male, and he always harasses and cages the other 2 female cats. When you put the sweater or the harness on him, he calms down and goes upstairs to his bed. What should we do to stop him from chasing them?
First of all, I'm assuming they live indoors?
Right, they live indoors.
Okay, great. So what I would do is I would make the indoors a lot more stimulating for the male cat. What I would do, you hear me talk about it every week, paper bags, cardboard boxes, growing organic plants for him. If you don't give the cat enough mental stimulation, they will create their own. And very often that mental stimulation is play chasing and chasing the other cats and annoying them. So what I would do in your case is make sure, I'm assuming everyone's spayed and neutered, I would make sure that the home is more interesting, but it's changed. Cats are nomadic. Cats like changes in their environment. So even though you may go out and have all this expensive stuff for them to play with, bring in a paper bag from the supermarket, it's like kitty nirvana. So I would rotate them, bring in the boxes, bring in the bags, change them every day. There's been no bloodshed so far. Maybe they're just chasing each other. I would leave well enough alone at this point. I would distract the cat that's being the assertive one with a lot of changes in terms of the boxes, the bags, the organic plants, but leave well enough alone. Sometimes when you get overly involved, you create more of a problem than you're going to have. There's 3 cats living in a house. There's been no bloodshed. There's not hair all over the house. It seems like they have a relationship based on one of them trying to be more assertive, which is fine and that's normal. Let's just distract them a little bit so the other ones have the opportunity to calm down as well.
Okay, that sounds great.
Don't go anywhere. I'm putting you on hold. You're gonna get a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. It's interesting to me. By the way, I do have a line open, which is pretty rare. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. So many people think that if cats are chasing each other, sometimes it seems like the Armageddon, but that's just normal behavior for cats in many cases. And sometimes trying to overly react to it can make it a lot worse. Hey, we got plenty of time for your calls. We're going to get to you, Paul. We're going to get to you, Donald. We're going to get to you, Audrey. If you want to answer my question, I'd love to hear from you. Do you believe that our dogs and cats in somehow or some way can visit us after they've crossed the Rainbow Bridge? You ever hear a song that kind of reminds you, or maybe even hear the collar or hear a sound that they made, or even pick up a scent or a smell, which is something I've done in the past? I'd love to hear from you guys. I'll send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA. Also coming up in a little bit, I had someone but actually ask me a question this week on my YouTube channel in terms of why all of a sudden their dog, who is really an outgoing, friendly, lovable dog, all of a sudden the dog is becoming a little distant. We're going to talk about that a little bit later if we have time. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. We're going to be sending Naomi, just so you know, someone's asking me, we're sending Naomi a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. The question of the day is, do you believe that your pets can visit you from another place? I do, and anybody out there have a tattoo of their dog or cat? I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Wait till I give you the statistics on just how many pet guardians have tattoos of their dogs and cats on them. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. A real quick break, then right back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And we are back on, I love that song. We're back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. We got a whole other hour to go. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff, as I said, to give away. Let me take a call right now. We're going to go to, let's go to Donald in Arcadia. Hey, Donald, welcome to the Pet Show.
Yes, this is Donald. And yes, animals do have flashbacks when it rains. Our chickens have the whole backyard, and we have 2 cats, and they have the whole backyard. They know when to stay out of the rain. They used to have an old saying that chickens do not know when to stay out of the rain, but ours do. It's been raining a lot over here.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, having lived with a dozen chickens in my life all at one time, Rhode Island Reds, if you know what kind they are.
I know. We have 2 of those.
They used to sit on my shoulder like I was a parrot. If I had a patch over my eye, I'd feel like I was in the movie Treasure Island. Chickens are so much brighter than people give credit for. All animals have a memory. I don't understand why people just assume that we're so much smarter than every other living thing. We're not.
Hey, our chickens are pretty smart.
Do you have anything besides chickens?
What?
Do you have any other animals?
We had 2 Rhode Island Giants, 2 Rhode Island Reds, and another chicken that lays green eggs. Then a little what is that called? Male.
Yeah, it's interesting. People have no idea how many varieties of chickens there are. Many years ago, when I was in Europe,
they have the whole backyard. They have the whole backyard to themselves.
The only thing I would be careful of is because of coyotes.
No, not. We have pretty high fences over here.
The coyotes scare me a little bit when it comes to chickens. I don't know what to send somebody with chickens. I have no chicken food.
We have 2 cats. We had 2 cats.
Oh, okay. You got 2 cats.
Hey, you know what's funny? Hey, Nora, what's really funny? If our chickens go, our cats go outside, the chickens will chase the cats.
Chickens are amazing animals. People have no idea. I think one of the reasons more and more people are getting chickens, well, number one, the price of eggs, but they're just absolutely amazing animals. And quite honestly, getting up in the morning and having a fresh egg is just absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, Don't go anywhere. I know what I'm saying. I put you on hold. I'm sending you some kitty lickies for your cats. I got nothing for your chickens except a hug and a kiss, and I appreciate that phone call. All right, here's the deal. Chuck, I want to get to you. Paul, I want to get to you. Audrey, I want to get to you. We got a break for the top of the hour. Just for a break for a couple of minutes. When I come back, I promise you'll be my first callers. I will get to your calls. I got hugs and kisses to give away, Lucy Pet Food, Author Suit Gold, copies of my books, kitty lickies, T-shirts, hemp seed oil, flea. More stuff to give away than I've ever had before. That's because the stuff I give away, as I said, can help you resolve certain issues. So it's a great time to give me a call. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. And when we come back, plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. A quick break. Give your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, one for me, and I'll talk to you in a minute or two on the other side. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And welcome back to the Pet Show. If you're concerned or want to find out why your dogs or cats behave the way they do, they're jumping, they're chewing, they're barking, they're digging. Your cat scratched your favorite chair, looks at the litter box and says, no way. Your cat just peed on your bed. Your dog is digging holes in your backyard. You don't know what to do. You're going crazy. You've come to the right place. This is the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. What we do here on this show is help you resolve any issues you may be having with your dogs or cats, and a lot more likely resolving any issues your dogs or cats may be having with you. Let's face it, it is not easy living with human beings. Take it from me. Just a reminder, if you're new to the Pet Show, if you're a regular listener to the Pet Show, everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. Many of the items, $45, $50. And again, the reason I give these items away, number one, I have the best sponsors in the world, many with me for 30 years. But more important than that is many of the items I give away are directly related to the issue you may be having with your dog or cat. So everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. Great time to give me a call, even if you just want to answer my question. Do you believe that pets you've lived with in the past that have crossed the Rainbow Bridge, every once in a while, kind of, maybe you smell them, you hear a song that reminds you of them, you hear their collar, you hear their voice, you feel their presence? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. Everyone that gets through and talks to me live will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. Also, I'm going to toss this out as well. I've been known to have a few tattoos, maybe more than a few, but a new survey finds half of dog and cat owners are open to getting a tattoo of their pet. According to one poll, a survey of 2,000 American pet owners found 25% would consider getting a tattoo of their current pet. Another 25% are planning on it. 16% of those polled already have one, raising my hand. They also found that dog and cat owners say 36% of their conversations are about their dogs and cats. I think 100% of my conversations are about my dogs and cats. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. Also coming up, reasons why all of a sudden a dog may become distant or your cat may become distant. What's going on? We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show. But again, great time to call me, 866-870-5752. I was talking about this earlier. Do dogs and cats have flashbacks, especially rescued pets? Dogs get flashbacks often from environmental triggers that remind them of trauma in the past. Dogs with PTSD are affected differently by these flashbacks. So it's kind of interesting. And I'm going to do a whole big story of this on my YouTube channel because no one ever talks about this. And I hear from people every single day, literally hundreds, thousands, all across the country and Canada, even Guam. And sometimes they say, why is my dog all of a sudden, he's a happy dog, and all of a sudden something happens or all of a sudden he changes and he looks depressed, he looks anxious, he looks mad, angry. So we're going to talk about that, not so much today, but I want you to go to my YouTube channel. I'll post it this week, youtube.com/thepetshow, youtube.com/thepetshow. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Interesting though. Anybody out there have a tattoo of their dog or cat besides me? I'm assuming someone does. Or would you get a tattoo of your dog or cat? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Now, my tattoo, one of my tattoos is my dog Rio on my right calf, and I put him on my right calf because wherever I go, when I jog, when I go for a walk, Rio is always with me, and he's always looking up at me, and yeah, I feel his presence. Maybe they need to put me away, but I feel his presence. I smell him. I know he's around me. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Am I the only one? Give me a call. And before I get to your phone calls, I'm going to run by you pretty fast when I get to the calls. I started talking about this last hour. We're talking about dogs coming from the past, or is it possible that a pet from the past is visiting? Several years ago, when I had to say goodbye to my mom, and my mom passed away, she was buried at a Jewish cemetery on Long Island. And I was there during the cemetery, obviously. And I noticed, as did several other people, this very strange-looking white dog running around the grave area. Now, listen, I've caught stray dogs my whole life. I took my belt off, tried to catch a stray dog. Let me tell you, it was like trying to catch a ghost. Every time I went near him, it was like he disappeared and he popped up somewhere else. Now, My mom was the type of person that absolutely loved animals as much as I do. That was instilled in me from day one, that living things are living things, and you respect them, as well as my grandmother, the same thing. And I honestly believe that after the service was over, and I turned around and I said, I gotta go find this dog. Disappeared. And Denise and I spoke to people, the grave diggers and people that have worked at that cemetery for years, and they said they have never, ever seen that dog before. To me, in my heart, in my soul, I believe that was a ghost dog coming down to welcome my mom to heaven. Just my belief. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let's go to, let me change tunes here a little bit. Let's go to Paul in Northridge. Hey, Paul, welcome to the show. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Warren.
How you doing,
Hi,
Paul?
Warren. How are you?
I've spoken to you 100 times. I'm doing good. What's your question for me, Paul?
This is Paul with Simone, the Siamese kitty licky freak.
There you go. And her owner's a little freaky, too, just saying.
So Simone is on her favorite place right now. She is on top of my tall TV dresser, right on top of the Spectrum cable box, laying down, kicking back.
That's because it's warm. It's warm up there. Cats like to be high up there, and it's warm up there. I don't want to run out of time, so I know you have a question about your hamsters.
Yes. So I have 4 Syrian hamsters.
Yeah.
2 short hair, 2 long hair. One short hair is white. His name is Blanco, and he is right next to my bed on the bottom. There's 4 habitats. Simone is as infatuated with that hamster as she is with kitty lickies. Why only the white one is she so crazy about?
It could be the way that one reacts. There are certain people that you just meet a certain person, and that person fascinates you, and you kind of stick with that person, even though there's 20 other people around. So it's just no different with animals. We always try to differentiate. But obviously, your cat, Simone, is attached to this one white Syrian hamster, which, by the way, I love hamsters, by the way. So this Syrian hamster. So, yeah, it's normal behavior. It's, normal behavior. Absolutely nothing. She likes the white one.
By the way, I have been visited by my past dogs in my dreams, visitation dreams, as real as you could possibly get.
No, listen. You're preaching to the choir. I believe that 100%. When I was studying in Europe, I had the opportunity of working with some people that were a little more in detail than we might be over here in terms of understanding the hereafter and our animals. And everyone I spoke to over there honestly believed, as I do, that when our pets do cross the Rainbow Bridge, they can't come back. I want to answer a quick question for you, then I got to move on, Paul. I know you're asking me a question about a Syrian hamster. You're talking about one of them nesting. Is it a male nesting or a female nesting?
They're all male.
Okay. So it's not unusual for females to nest because they're setting up something if they're going to give birth. However, with male hamsters, especially the Syrian hamsters, very often they will nest as a way to hide themselves for fear of being attacked. Maybe it's the cat that's scaring them a little bit. But whatever the reason is, the nesting in male hamsters is directly due to being protective of themselves by nesting in. So that's why they do it.
Well, the hamster's not afraid of Simone, and Simone absolutely adores the hamster. She rubs against the habitat. She just wants to touch it. Every opportunity she can to touch it through those
but it's possible. It's possible the hamster on the other side of the plastic is a little drop fearful, and that's why he's nesting. That's the only thing I can think of. Unless the other thing that they'll nest if they're not feeling well. I know that. I got to move on. I'm not going to send you a gift. I'm donating it, Paul. Have a great day. Thanks for calling. Let me go to who's up next here. Let's go to Audrey, Granada Hills. Welcome to the Pet Show, Audrey.
Warren. Oh, it's good to talk to you. Glad you're feeling better now, Warren.
You know what? I think it's only the fourth time in 43 years I've taken off a day, but I'm telling you, it must have been kennel cough and distemper. That's all I could pick up.
Oh, but you're feeling better now, and that's what's important, right?
I'm 100%. I'm ready to go out there and kill the world.
Good, and you do, Warren, you do. All right, now, remember, Warren, I called you, it was 3 months ago when we lost Suki, and you were wonderful. Well, now we're ready, and I wanted to ask you, first of all, we want, because of our age and because of our limitations, we can't have a bigger dog anymore. Suki was between 11 and 12 pounds. Now we want to rescue. We want to rescue a small poodle or a Maltipoo, somewhere between, I would say, between 5 and 8 pounds. Do you have any that you might recommend? And yes, a senior's fine, and we'd like it to be a female spayed, of course. So do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, there are so many great rescues, especially in the Valley. There are so many great rescues and humane organizations and whatever. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put this out there. What I'd like you to do, Audrey, is if you can send me an email at mail@thepetshow.com.
Wait, let me write that down. Mail at, and these are all lowercase. Mail at the Pet Show, all one word, .com. I've got it.
Send me some info there telling me exactly what kind of dog you may be looking for. Then once again, I'm going to jump on my friend Joy. I'm going to say, Joy, this is what I'm looking for, and she'll get the word out there. I'll hook you up with Joy. I'll hook Joy up with you. You guys will work together. You'll call me back in a couple of weeks, and I'll say Mazel Tov on your new pet.
Oh, of course I will, and of course you're going to be right there with her when we get her. You know that, don't you, Warren? You're going to be right there. I'm going to call you and let you know. All right, now, and then my second question is, because of my limitations with walking now, I can't walk. She has to be a dog that would be happy to be in the house. Because what I also wanted to ask you, do they make, and this may sound like a silly question, walkers where you're able to put a leash, attach the leash to the walker? Is there such a thing? Do you know?
There are walkers that you can get that actually the dog can sit in the front of the walker. But yeah, you can attach a leash to a walker with the dog. Now, it's interesting, but what you need to do is when you get the dog, or when you figure out the dog, you need to make sure the dog gets adapted to what a walker is. I remember years ago I was working with a man who had a leg amputated, and he walked in a certain way, and I actually literally had to tie a stick to my leg to simulate his walk. So you want to get that walker beforehand when the dog comes in. Let him see the walker, get him used to it. You'll talk to me before that happens, but I want you to send me an email. I'll hook you up with Joy, and yes, you can have a dog that goes alongside a walker with you, and even maybe some of the strollers can help you walk, and you can have a dog in the stroller as well. It's up to you.
That's wonderful. And now, in answer to your question, absolutely. When we lost Suki, I guess it was about a week, and I have her little, I have her cremains here with me, and she's in the bedroom, when I'm in the bedroom. But like right now, we always listen to you together. She's right here in her little box. I was sitting here in the den by myself. It was late at night, and twice, this was the first week that we had her nameplate fell off. Yeah. It just fell off. There was no reason why it should have. That's happened several times. The other thing that happened in that first week or two, I was in bed, and Marv, my boyfriend, was not close to me, so the distance was there. I felt like she was moving on the bed, Warren.
She was.
Like she was right there beside me.
Listen, we're all part of energy. Whatever your spiritual beliefs are all part of energy, and our energy lives forever. We might not, but our energy does. Great call, by. Listen, send me that email. Send me that email. I'm going to donate your gift to somebody because you called before, but send me that email. Joy, I'm talking about you. I do got to take a break. Joy, I'm talking to you too. We're going to put together. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Sometimes I forget about commercials, Spencer. Now, speaking about wanting to keep your dog. Oh, this song drives me crazy. There's no such thing as an ugly dog. You don't look at the outside of a dog. You look at the inside of a dog, and they're all beautiful on the inside. It's a nice song, though. Hey, we're back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein, 866-870 KRLA, the phone number. We're going to go right down the list here. We got Chuck calling from Hollywood, some eccentric lady named Joy calling from the Woodland Hills. I know who it is. Jay Dean calling from Philadelphia, Kathy from Canyon Country, Pam from Irvine. I got one line open, 866-870 KRLA. Did you know 6, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 in 10 pet guardians surveyed believed their cat or dog has what it takes to become a viral sensation. In fact, 36% have a dedicated social media account just for their dog or their cat. Interesting. Oh, man, the phones are jamming. I better start moving here. Let me go to Chuck in Hollywood. Hey, Chuck, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, Warren, thanks. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. What's up?
In answer to your survey, yeah, I definitely believe that pets can come back to visit. I've had it happen on a number of occasions, and on at least 2 of those occasions, they visited a good friend of mine who was a good friend of theirs as well on the very same night, and we both called each other like, you wouldn't believe what happened last night. So
yeah, so that's why, so many people, when I talk about this, that's why I do this show, because you people make me feel normal. Because when I talk about it, I'm being honest with you, people say, maybe it's time for Warren to take a little break here because we need a rest home over here. But I'm not there. It happens to everybody. It's just that a lot of people don't talk about it. So I'm so glad. And interesting that you and your friend, who is also a friend of your of the pets from the past, were both visited on the same night. Must have been something very special going on that evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I had a question for you.
Sure.
I know that my 2 cats know their own names, but I've often wondered, do you think they know each other's names? So if I'm in another room talking to one, that the cat in the other room is going, hey, what's going on in there? I guess the same applies to dogs.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like with my 2 guys, Molly and Willie, they definitely know their individual names. If I say Molly or I say Willie. But the bottom line is when you use one name, if I said Molly, they're both coming. Doesn't make any difference. If I said Willie, they're both coming. Once they realize one is getting a response or I'm calling one, the other one's going to follow. So they absolutely, there's no doubt in my mind, they do know their individual names. However, if you're calling one, the other one wants to respond accordingly because he doesn't want the one you're calling to get anything he's not getting.
Okay, so you don't think they would know if I'm talking to one cat that I'm not talking to them?
Well, unless you're sitting there and, you're making that eye contact and staring at one and having that conversation. But even then, the other one's going to want attention as well. So I'm sure they know their own names and they know their individual names as well. No doubt in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
I've lived with as many as 30 cats at one time, and I can pretty much tell you they kind of all knew their own name. But if I said to one of them, Mouty, come, they all come at the same time. It makes absolutely no difference. They want that attention. So what kind of pets do you have now, Chuck?
I have 2 cats.
2 cats. What I'm going to do, I'll put you on hold, Chuck, and I'm going to send you some kitty lickies. Call me back in a couple of weeks and tell me how much your cats love these kitty lickies, because everyone I've sent kitty lickies to comes back with the same response. Wow, wow, and wow. Again, let me tell you about YouTube. And if I sound like a broken record, there's a reason. On my new YouTube channel, every single day, just about every single day, I post 1-minute tips. I post long things, short things. You can see, you listen to this show. You can listen to archive shows. Subscribe. There's a lot of great information there. It's free. So just check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let's go to Joy. Hi, Joy.
Hello, my friend.
Listen, I don't have to ask about your tattoos. In fact, how many places don't you have a tattoo of?
So you do know that I have. Okay, so the first tattoo I got was of my beloved Pismo, who passed away, and I have her on my left arm. And one of the reasons I put her there was because I used to hold her like a baby and cradle her. I know I'm one of those crazy people. But I also had her ashes added to the ink of the tattoo. And so wherever I go, not only is she in my heart, but she really does travel with me, not unlike your Rio.
But that's interesting because that's kind of a relatively newer approach where people will take some of the ashes of the deceased pet and have that intertwined in the tattoo. Now, what I do is my dentist, I wish I had it here. Oh, I do have it here. Wait a second. My dentist is into ceramics. I'm holding up if anyone's watching YouTube. And what she did is she made me this pencil holder. And what I did is over a period of months, I collected hair from Molly and Willie. And in that pencil holder and the ceramics she makes for Denise and myself are the hair of Molly and Willie incorporated.
Oh, that's magical.
Into the ceramic. And so, yeah, it's pretty darn good. So I know you have these tattoos, but let's get away from our tattoos for a second. Did you hear the last call about the woman who wants to adopt a dog?
I did, and I was going to send you a message. I have a perfect dog for this senior couple. So if she's still listening, please contact me. She can email me or contact you and Denise can get me her information. But I have a perfect dog for her, and I think it would be a lovely match. So
why did I? Now, don't you have another tattoo also of my buddy, right?
I do. I have one of Tiny. And I wear it with great pride. And you know that we lost him a few months ago.
Yes, I do.
So yes, I do have one of Tiny, who was my pit bull mastiff. And I just have his head. The rest of his body certainly wouldn't have had his head.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you would have to be 6'5" and 890 pounds. His whole body.
Right. I need more real estate. But it's interesting that you're asking the question also about do pets come and visit you? And I'll tell you very quickly. When Pismo passed away, she was an all-white Pomeranian, and when Craig and I left to take her to be cremated, there was a little white butterfly flying around outside our house, and hand to God, Warren, this butterfly followed us up to the crematorium and back home. And when we got home, there were little white feathers on the lawn out front. And when Tiny passed away and we left to take him to the crematory place, there was a beautiful gray and white, and Tiny was gray and white. It looked to be like a pigeon. It was just this beautiful little bird. And this little bird hung around the house all day long. And we always find little gray and white feathers outside, still to this day. Yes, I do believe that they do send you signs from heaven, and they send them when you most need them.
Yeah, love never disappears. Love is
absolutely
love is energy. It just never disappears. And guys, you know what? As many different animals as I've lived with, I feel them all somehow, some way. I feel them all. Anyway, Joy, keep me posted, Joy, and as soon as I hear from that lady, I'll hear from you.
And if that senior is still listening, I have a great dog for you.
All right, we're gonna. I know she's a great listener, so I know she's gonna call me. So expect an email from me in an hour or two.
Wonderful. Stay feeling well, my friend. I'm glad that you're doing better.
Good. And go give Craig a big hug and a kiss me. I appreciate that phone call. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, we got Jadine, Kathy, Pam, Diane, Melanie. We'll get to your calls right after this. But I want to tell you about my friends over at Nature Vet, because they are an incredible company. I've known Scott Garman, their CEO, for over 30 years now. What an amazing guy he is, and what an incredible company Nature Vet is. And one of the reasons I'm such a big fan of Nature Vet, they're also based right here in Southern California. As a matter of fact, right in Temecula, and the products they make are amazing. But I want to focus specifically today on some of their hemp seed products, because when it comes to hemp seed oil, a lot of people have a lot of different questions. Not all hemp seed oil is the same. The hemp seed oil I recommend, the hemp seed oil I endorse, is manufactured And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Boy, you guys are keeping me jumping today. Let me go right back to the busy phone lines here. And we are going to, I believe it's Jay Dean calling all the way from Philadelphia. Hey, Jay Dean, welcome to the show.
Hey, hi, Warren.
Well, no. Before you start, you got to send me. You got to send me. No, you got to send me a pretzel with mustard. Now, come on, it's Philadelphia.
Okay. Well,
I used to drive from Long Island to Philadelphia just to get a pretzel in Philadelphia. True story.
You know what? They just said that they baked 400 and took them out to the Oscars for this last one. So apparently the love on the West Coast for Philly pretzels is deep.
Yeah, but those people at the Oscars don't deserve it. Those people at the Oscars definitely don't deserve Philadelphia. Philadelphia.
Well, I won't disagree with you there.
Anyway, what can I do? What can I do to help you out today?
Okay, so here's the thing. There's two things. One is like written in stone, something that I could, depend upon with my rescue cat. I got him in 2009. He was a year old, so I guess he's like 13. But the thing is, they had him for the first year of his life, and it was critical what they did to him. They loaded him up with getting him neutered and ripping his, top joint off of his front paws. You know how that does with the declawing, and also gave him all his shots. So he was really hammered hard before he was even 6 months old. Because, so I think that has affected his immune system. That being said, I did get the Nature Vet tear stain thing that you had recommended. In fact, I just ordered my second bottle. And so I have had some result with that, and I'm glad to know about that and let other people know. Because more than the unsightliness, I was concerned that that he was having problems breathing. And that dovetails into my next question, because he has these hard treats that he cannot eat. He literally cannot stomach them. I didn't know this when I adopted him from her, that he couldn't eat hard food. It was okay because I was going to switch him over to homemade food anyway. But the thing is, it gives him severe diarrhea. But he loves that food like he loves life. And my point is that I could put that in a jar and then give them to him maybe, a couple of days or something. But if I wanted to get him to come and to respond, all I had to do was shake that. And now it's a big meh. And I can't understand, because this transcends, like, if he can't smell it. You know what I mean? Because he knows the audio cue of sounds like that.
They pick up on those sounds right away. But I know you have a question about the litter box.
Okay, so well, that's important though, because I'm thinking that may dovetail into the litter box. Because for a while there, some book I read said, reward them when they do good behavior. So I thought, okay, I'll give him like a treat when he goes to the litter box. But I didn't do it regularly or anything like that. But here's the deal: he's got this thing now where, and I've encouraged him to talk. And the thing is that it's hard. It can be hard to decipher, and this is the one that took me the longest to learn, because like he was doing it today, and what he does is he just comes and he's yow, 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 and I'm usually doing something, and I don't know whether he just wants me to look up from the phone, because he's just like a kid that way, or another person. They don't like it. So the bottom line is, I thought, the litter box, the penny drops, right? And I go, and of course he goes right, and he gets in, and he doesn't need me to stay, but he wants me to come, and I'm just wondering if that's a sign of something more serious, like if he's in some level of distress, because he doesn't seem to be.
There are many reasons a cat. There's many reasons a cat will hang out in a litter box. Number one, some cats feel comfortable.
Litter box at all. My point is that he makes me come with him to the litter box, like a little kid, who wants you to see him.
But you said to me that when he went to the litter box, you would give him a treat.
Well, I'm just trying to cover all the bases. I did that very infrequently because that guy
doesn't make any difference infrequently or not infrequently. They learn through association. His association is the litter box and getting a treat from mom. It's what we call, when we're doing training, there's something we use called variable reinforcement, where we do it consistently, then we do it every third time, every fifth time, every second time. So it sounds to me, unless the cat is physically ailing, if he's uncomfortable, if he's got some type of urinary tract problem going on, if he's got diarrhea or he's constipated, well, that's why you got to watch. You got to watch the litter box. You got to look at his poop. You got to look at his urine. If he's healthy, then if he's healthy,
I empty them. I
know. I got that all. But if he's healthy, and there's nothing wrong physically, then you created the scenario where you going to the litter box with him is something he associates with getting a treat, even though he doesn't get it consistently.
No. Well, here's the thing. I never used to do that, and this is something that came on recently, just like him ignoring the tree thing. This is what I'm saying, and this is what's so scary to me, because prior I had a lovely cat, Buckwheat.
Listen, Dadine, I'm not going to have a whole. I'm not going to have a whole lot of time. Okay, so let me resolve one issue at a time. If your question to me is why is he starting to wanting you to go to the litter box, I've answered that for you. He wants you to go to the litter box because he associates the litter box with getting a treat, unless there's something physiologically that's taken place with him recently. So if you stop going to the litter box, sometimes by ignoring something consistently and not going with him, that problem will actually disappear. However, as long as you go there, even if you go there once out of every 10 times, he's going to associate that. So if he's in good health, bottom line is, if he's in good health, then he's doing it psychologically or behaviorally because you've created that scenario. I got to move on, so I got to put you on hold at this point. And I don't know if I sent you something recently, but I don't know. Let me go. J. Dean, when was the last time? When was the last time you called me?
August or September maybe of last year.
Oh, so it's been over a year. Okay, so I'm going to put you on hold. I'm sending you some kitty lickies, and I appreciate that phone call. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. The phones are absolutely jam-packed. I'm going to try to get to as many calls as I possibly can. Let's go to Pam in Irvine. Hey, Pam, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, Pam. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you for taking my call. I interestingly enough, my dog passed away in November, and I heard your show, and I thought, I've got to call and find out about this. My Daisy, she was a multi-poo, more genes of a poodle, very smart. She passed away November 30th. A lot of mourning went on. She was also my service dog, which came naturally to her. My dog certified her as a service dog because of it, and I have been hearing things in my house that I've been in my house for 18 years, but it's her. Like if I sit at the dining room table, I had a little pillow there that she would lay, and you know how dogs will pop off bed before they lay down in it?
Sure.
Well, she would do that when she was alive, and her little nails would hit the wall sometimes. I hear it right there when I'm at my dining room table. And she had a bed on the other side of an actual bed on the other side of the dining room table, and I heard it over there against the wall. And never before in 18 years, it's only her noise. So, I hear her pawing at the screen door when I'm out on the balcony.
Do you have any sense of smelling her?
A little bit. Before she died, she had a yeast problem.
Yeah.
So that could just be, leftovers in the house.
Do you feel if you're lying down in bed or sitting on the couch, do occasionally you feel her presence? Does a song come on and it make you think of her?
Yes, and I end up dreaming about her. Yeah. I have given a gift of a stuffed dog, a pillow with her picture on it, and I've got that right, like a little memorial for her.
So, Pam, what you're saying to me is that your relationship. What was your dog's name, by the way?
Her name was Daisy May.
Daisy May. Your relationship with Daisy May was one of those special relationships that people do have, good people do have with the pets that they live with. And even though they
sorry, I can't hardly hear you now.
Even though they crossed the Rainbow Bridge, even though Daisy May is no longer with us, the love that you had was so strong that her soul, her energy is there. And there's no doubt in my mind that she's letting you know that everything is okay, Mom, and things are fine until we meet again. I think it's absolutely a positive way of her, after crossing over, responding to you and letting you know that everything's okay. There's no doubt in my mind about it.
Well, that's wonderful confirmation.
And
I also see her. One night I was standing on the balcony, and the way the clouds were was a perfect picture of her face.
There you go.
I kid you not. I've never seen that in my life.
You would never, I totally believe
clouds, which were her two eyes and her nose and her head and her ears, and I just started crying. It was right there.
She's letting you know.
It's unbelievable.
She's letting you know that everything's okay. So you have no pets at this point, right?
No, I'm older and I'm handicapped from an accident, and I don't have a yard, so I have to take the dog out, and I don't know if I can do that right now. And Daisy's life started changing when I had my accident because I couldn't take her out as often. And she had an ear problem. She had a surgery. The guy gave her too much steroid for her sores on her body, and it threw her into high sugar.
Well, she is letting you know.
Recovered.
She is letting you know how strong your love was. I can't send you anything for the cat, but I'm going to do this. I want to put you on hold, and I'm going to send you a T-shirt. I hope you wear it. It says, "None of my friends walk upright," because the deep love that you had with your cat absolutely is coming through. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me take a quick break, then we'll get back to all of your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Oh, man, it is so cool to be a cat. We are back on the Pet Show. The phones are jam-packed. I'm going to try to get to as many calls as I can. But if for some reason I don't, I want you to write this phone number down. This is the phone number for my National Canadian show, which starts at 1 o'clock the minute I get off the air here. Write this number down. Don't start calling to 1 in case I can't get to your call or I miss your call or you're out there schlepping around. Write this number down. You can start calling at 1. Same type of show. Give away the same type of gifts. That phone number, 877-725-8255. 877-725-8255. Let's go to Diane in Brea. Hey, Diane, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
How can I help you?
My dogs aren't.
What's the matter with your dog?
Both of my dogs are chewing their paws. One of them is a Pekingese mixed with something. She was a rescue. And the other one was supposed to be a Shih Tzu, but she's a mix of something, which is fine. But they're both chewing their paws.
Okay, front paws, back paws, top paws, bottom paws, where?
Front paws.
Okay, and has it been going on for a long time, or have you maybe had something done with your?
Time.
Okay, so it's
No,
not
a
something.
long time.
It's not something new. No new chemicals on the lawn. No new cleaning products
Nope.
in the house. No new carpeting.
Nope, nothing new.
Okay, have you ever spoken to your vet about allergies or anything?
Yeah, and he said no, that the dog is just bored or it's, what did he say, habit.
Okay, so if the dog is bored or habit, what did he tell you to do?
He told me just to get him to play more. Well, the Pekingese is 10, And my mother actually talked to you about our Shih Tzu. My mom's 92, and she took the Shih Tzu. And you asked her who was going to take care of that Shih Tzu when she goes. she told you, well, my daughter will.
Oh, there you go. Let me recommend something to you, okay? First of all, I don't know offhand what's causing it. It could be an allergy. Your vet could be right. Very often when a dog licks, it's stressful. Stressful licking, very common. It could be pain, but the fact that they're both doing it kind of puts me a little bit away from the pain aspect of it. Could be arthritis. Could be any number of things. There's a product on the market. I'm going to recommend it to you. It's made by the people at NatureVet. You hear me talk about NatureVet all the time. They have something called Aller 911 Allergy Aid Hotspot Plus. It's got aloe vera. They got a dog and cat foam. And over the years, I've used it, and it's worked really, really well. It's not expensive. I think it's like $11, and it's available at Chewy, or you can go to naturevет.com. But it's called
Aller 911.
Aller 911. It's actually Aller 911 Allergy Aid Hotspot Plus. It's made by NatureVet.
Okay.
It's made right here in Southern California. I would give that a shot. So I think that in conjunction with increased mental stimulation, even though they don't play with toys, I don't care. Put them down anyway. The more changes you make.
We've got toys all over the house.
Oh, but rotate them. Change them every day. Put some away. Put them out a day or two later. The more mental stimulation, the less apt they're going to want to lick. Licking could be a medical issue. It could be arthritis, but your vet says no. It could be boredom. It could be a stress. It could be any number of things. But I want you to use this NatureVet Aller 911 Allergy Aid Hotspot. Give me a call back and let me know how it's working for you. I mean, it's a great product. It's got like a 5-star review.
I will order it right away.
Yeah, and let me know how it works for you, okay?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
So you give him a big hug and a kiss me, and I appreciate that phone call. God, you guys are wearing me out today. 866 870 KRLA, the phone number. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, Melanie, Ruth, and Cheryl, we're going to get to you. But I want you guys to write this number down. I know I don't have time to answer all the calls on this show, but right after I get off the air, I do my national and Canadian show for Radio America Armed Forces Radio. Write this number down. You can start calling at 1 o'clock. Same type of show. I'll be talking about similar subjects, give away the same type of gifts, but don't start calling till 1-877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. And my LA listeners, you guys will be the first ones up because the show starts at 5 minutes after, and if you stop calling at 1, you'll be way ahead of the rest of the country and Canada. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. Let me tell you, spring, and it's spring now. Spring is the perfect time to And let me give you that number for the network show if I run out of time. Starts at 1 o'clock, 877-725-8255. Let's go to Melanie in Costa Mesa. Hi, Melanie. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. So good to talk to you.
Well, same here. I see from your computer, I want to make sure we have plenty of time. They have a rescue dog that is aggressive towards other dogs. When does this aggression occur?
Whenever she's around another dog. We took her to the dog beach because she seems to like the water. She loves to ride in the car. She was happy there. But if another dog comes by, it's one sniff, and then she just goes violent.
How much background do you have on the dog?
Well, I know she's a rescue from Mexico, and I call her my giant Mexican Maltese because she's 27 pounds. Her nipples were scraping the ground. She's a beautiful, beautiful dog.
So she's been bred?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I feel like maybe her being around another dog was to be bred.
So she was a street dog in Mexico. That's the bottom line. And a street dog in Mexico, it's very difficult. I have friends, my good friend, a lot of friends working down there doing a lot of great rescue work. But the bottom line is this. When you have a dog that's out on the street, and every dog she sees is a potential enemy, every dog she sees is after her, whether to breed with her or to get her food or go after her puppies, it's not uncommon for her to start being aggressive towards other dogs. So what we need to do is something we call counter conditioning. I just did a whole thing on my YouTube channel. By counter conditioning, we want to start to make her feel that when she sees another dog, only good things happen. So if you have friends you can work with and you can take her to an area, maybe there's one or two dogs, maybe 20 feet away, and she sees those dogs, and you give her a massage, give her a hug and a kiss, give her a treat, and walk away. Every time she walks away from a dog and nothing negative happened, you're building that confidence level up. It's not going to happen overnight because I'm telling you how abused these Mexico stray dogs are. But if every time she sees another dog beforehand, before she reacts, make it a positive thing, walk her away, give her a hug, give her a kiss, give her a treat. And as I said, if you have friends with dogs, you can set up situations where you're not going to be on top of the dogs, but you'll be near them close enough where she's getting positive from you and therefore changing that behavior. Listen, I got to move on, but I'm going to put you on hold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want, or go to my website. There's a whole chapter in there, and my heart breaks for these dogs because so many times when a person adopts a dog like this off the streets, what happens is they bring the dog and the dog shows, and bless you for keeping and working on it, the dog shows some aggression in it, give the dog away, and he goes to another home, and you know the bottom line is he winds up being euthanized. So bless you for understanding, but it's up to us to realize so many of these dogs have gone through so much hell in their life. You have no idea what it's like being a stray, especially in Mexico where they're no spay and neuter that much, and they're breeding like crazy, and they're on top of each other, and God knows what happened to this poor dog. So her association with other dogs is negative. We need to take that association with other dogs and turn it around into a positive. I'm not going to be able to take another phone call, so Ruth and Cheryl, I want to get to your call, so do this. Write this number down. You can start calling at 1 o'clock. That phone number is 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. I'll answer your questions there and resolve some issues. It's the same type of show. I give away the same gifts as well. I also want you to make sure you go to my YouTube channel. I know I'm pushing it, but I'm telling you it's free, and I literally break my butt every day adding new stuff. So it's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Until next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, a special one between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you for listening to The Pet Show.